YouTubers, Labor Day is right around the corner, as well as my neighborhood block party, and I always like to create a dessert for the kids in my neighborhood. Last year I did a Jurassic World cake, and this year I wanted to do something red, white, and blue themed, so I settled on this red, white, and blue anti-gravity cake. It has the great red, white, and blue Labor Day theme, as well as I think the kids will really enjoy it. Everything that you need will be in the description box as usual. Let's go ahead and get this tutorial started. This is the cake that I'm using for our anti-gravity cake. It's a very simple technique. We did it when we made our Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle camouflage cupcakes. I'll put a link to that in the description box. To make this cake, I dyed white cake batter red, white, and blue. Then I randomly dropped tablespoons of my batter into my prepared cake pans, and I just kept layering it until I filled both of my 8-inch pans with my batter. To make the anti-gravity effect, you're only going to need a few things. First, you're going to need your candy, whatever candy that you want to use. I am using these red, white, and blue M&Ms. These are limited production, so if you want to use them, you need to go out and get them. I've seen them at Walmart and Target. Then you're going to need some candy melts. I'm just using the white ones by Wilton. And you're going to need a milkshake straw. A milkshake straw is a little larger in diameter and it's much heavier plastic. You could also use a wooden dowel if you'd like. Let's go ahead and get started. I've melted some of my white chocolate here, and I took my straw and measured it, and I want to leave 2 to 3 inches that's going to actually be pushed down into the cake, and I just made a little mark here, and I'm going to cover the rest of this in my white chocolate. Once I have it covered in white chocolate, I'm just going to lay it on a piece of wax paper, and I'm going to put this in the freezer for about 10 minutes. Keep in mind that when you're opening your package of candy, whether you're using M&Ms, Skittles, or whatever, open your package as neatly as possible because we're going to use the bag later. Now we're ready to attach our M&Ms to our straw here. So I've got my M&Ms, I've got the melted white chocolate and my straw that's been in the freezer. And I'm going to use a little paintbrush here because I'm being anal. And also keep a wet cloth or some wet paper towels handy to keep your hands clean. You tend to get the chocolate on your hands and then you're going to get them all over your candy. We only want the chocolate on one side. So I'll take an M&M here and just dip my paintbrush in here, and I'm just going to put some on the back, and then we're going to attach it to our straw using the chocolate. I'm just randomly going to go down the straw with different colors. I found that the first row of candy can be the most difficult because the chocolate is still a little soft and your straw wants to tend to roll over. Once I get my first row on, I'm going to pop this in the freezer for 5 minutes and let those harden. The rest of them go much easier. Now I'm ready to finish covering my straw with my M&Ms. Now that you get the first layer on, you see it can kind of rest that way and your straw doesn't roll around on you. I am just going to start putting my white chocolate onto my straw now and put my M&Ms on. I've got my M&Ms covering my straw. I'm going to go ahead and stack and frost my cake with white buttercream. Then we'll be ready to go ahead and put on our anti-gravity effect and all the other decorations we're going to put on this cake. To decorate our cake, I've got some more red, white, and blue M&Ms and these Airhead Extreme Bluest Raspberry belts. These are belts and they're red and blue. Let's go ahead and start decorating our cake. The first step to decorating our cake is we're going to put on our Airheads Extremes, and we're just going to evenly place them around the cake. And I'll use a pair of kitchen shears to cut it off even with the top of the cake. You do want to make sure that your Airhead Extremes are on nice and straight. Now we're ready to put on our anti-gravity effect. So I've got my straw here covered with my M&Ms, and all we're going to do is push it down into the center of the cake. Don't worry if you have a little bit of your straw showing at the bottom. We'll cover that up with a little bit of buttercream and all the M&Ms that we're going to add to the top of our cake. First thing I'm going to do to arrange my M&Ms is I'm going to take my red M&Ms and I'm going to make 2 rows around the outside of my cake. Now you can do your M&Ms however you want. You can just randomly place them all over the top. Whatever you're comfortable with. I'm going to try to make this look a little fancier. I've got my 2 rows of my red M&Ms, and I kind of laid out here what I plan to do. I've started with 1 M&M, and I'm kind of making like a little stream from the straw over to our red M&M. So I started with 1, worked up to 2, then it's going to be the 2 all the way around. I haven't pressed those into the buttercream, so you can kind of lay out how you think you want your M&Ms to be before pressing them into the buttercream. Next, I'm going to take my white M&Ms and I'm going to start here at this corner of the stream, and I'm going to work around to this side of this little stream, and I'm going to make 2 rows of my white M&Ms. I got my 2 rows of white M&Ms on, and I did the same thing. I've laid out kind of a little stream going from 1 M&M, working my way up to 2 and around. And the last thing I'm going to do is fill the remaining space with my blue M&Ms. I've got my M&Ms on my cake, and I've pretty much covered the entire top with them. The last thing to do is to attach our M&M bag to complete our anti-gravity look. I've taken a little bit of paper towel, I don't know if you'll be able to see it on camera, and stuffed it into the bag, so that way your bag looks like it has candy in it. And I've melted some more white chocolate, and what we're going to do is take our white chocolate, and I've got just a pastry brush here. We want to put quite a bit on, and we're going to put some right along this edge here. And then we're going to take our bag and we're going to put it on at an angle here, and we're going to have to hold this on until our chocolate sets. And here you have our red, white, and blue anti-gravity cake. I hope you enjoyed today's video. Thanks for watching. Please join our channel. We hope to see you back soon.